きだ。
Hey everybody, night time, first one at night. So I'm going to try a new topic. So before this year I used to get around and travel quite a lot, and I've decided when I get to new cities I'm going to do somewhere where the Beatles played and find out where they played and what that place looks like now, no matter what it looks like now, because a lot of the places won't be here, which brings us to the first place. I probably should have started this before I travelled to 33 American states, which I'll probably never get back to. I miss out on a lot of locations, but it is what it is. First place, not here anymore, the old ABC in Lincoln. The Beatles only played my city once, and it was here. This was torn down in the late 80s. Notes from the day were Ringo couldn't do the sound check because his ears, he was having problems with his ears, and he had to go up to the Lincoln Hospital and have his ears syringed. So they had to rehearse without a drummer. And the old ABC, the Kings have played here, the Stones, the old ABC theatres around the country used to be very well known for performances and bands. There's nothing remaining of the old ABC. It was right here. I'll send you some before and after pictures, as you know I do now. But when they played here, it was 57 years ago this very day, and that was the 28th of November 1963, and only 6 days prior to that the JFK assassination happened, and the day after they played here, the 29th of November 1963, I Wanna Hold Your Hand was released. So the JFK assassination and I Wanna Hold Your Hand were 1 week apart. Two massively culturally important things of the 20th century. Lumping in I Wanna Hold Your Hand with JFK might seem extreme, but very important. Now here, the old back entrance was the old back entrance of the cinema, and on the night the Beatles played here, they finished off stage. So at this period they were only an hour on stage. They would start with I Saw Her Standing There and finish with Twist and Shout. Just a 10-song set. Finished, ran straight out here and down where we're walking. Nothing big to see. Again, when the Beatles played here, the term Beatlemania was not even a month old. It had just been coined, so it was just starting. I Wanna Hold Your Hand, which was released the day after, had advanced sales of over 1 million copies, and at this time less than 10 songs had sold 1 million copies ever. Let me turn you around. You don't see Lincoln this quiet, so. So yeah, the Beatles ran over this bridge that I am walking. So yeah, 1 million copies sold, and that's probably a sign of how big the Beatles were at this time. But they didn't get to number one. All those records sold, advance sales, didn't get to number one. Because She Loves You was number one. They were just so big at this point. Beatles ran over this bridge. The sculpture and Wilkinson's wasn't there, I believe. So yeah, they ran down over the water, down here, and here their car was waiting for them right here, and the car whizzed them up here and off they went to Doncaster. And another note from this day, the old ABC would have been here, where the Waterside Shopping Centre now is. Another note from the day is when they got their lift to Doncaster, when they arrived in Doncaster, they found Brian Epstein, the Beatles manager, and demanded a new driver because the guy that drove them was so erratic and nearly killed them. They demanded a new driver. So the events of the JFK assassination and I Wanna Hold Your Hand, the reason I think they're so culturally important I think I've got an old picture of the cinema from, that's why I turned around. I Wanna Hold Your Hand is the song that broke them in America. There was George Martin and Brian Epstein were refusing to put their songs in the American market because they would fail. Side note, I've not been to Lincoln apart from that run I did a few weeks back. I have not walked around Lincoln since February because of coronavirus, and it's 7 AM on a December morning, so I thought there's no one going to be about, so I might have a little walk and just talk to you. Oh. The irony of this in the year 2020. So I think the JFK assassination was equally as important as the Beatles being a great band, because the Beatles was hysteria, nobody can argue. It was bizarre, the receptions they got. And I always think America in the 50s must have been the best, one of the best time periods ever. They'd been through the Depression, the war, and then the music, Elvis, Buddy Holly, all the rock and roll hit, and yeah, the Teddy Boys and the Rockers, and it just seemed so much fun. And I think in the early 60s you had the Cuban Missile Crisis, and then following on from that, JFK got assassinated, so 6 days before the Beatles were here. And I think Americans just needed some good news, and I think they were dreading another period of turmoil like they'd recently experienced. And when they come, the Beatles, with their mop tops, weird hair, and their funny accents and their British sense of humour.
Tell me, how did you find America?
Americans just latched onto them and thought, this is brilliant. And that happened the day after the Beatles played here. And I won't get to see many Christmas lights this year, as none of us will. Nice way to end. Thank you for watching. Just a little video, and I'll do one of these when I'm back travelling properly again, because although they only toured for a handful of years from like the early 60s, before they were big, until 68 66 Candlestick Park. They played a lot of gigs and they were everywhere, certainly in this country and in America. If you are interested in any more, this is the first episode in this vein. It started when I was in New Orleans though, because they played City Park in New Orleans, and I did a bit of research, and it was like a national holiday the day the Beatles came to New Orleans. This is how weird it all was, and everybody had the day off, and I was so intrigued by this story. I went to where they played in New Orleans, and if you check out my Instagram, there's a couple of pictures from that day. You'll have to go back to March 2018 though. The days we could travel. But that's it. Please like and subscribe. Other places we'll see. There'll be places left over, there'll be abandoned places where they played, and I'll just generally go through where the Beatles played, and along with all my other videos. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.